In PSO2, there is something called Buildup Photon Arts, and these are essentially an additional extremely strong attack that some classes and weapons get access to, but instead of costing PP, they need to be charged up to use. To unlock Buildup PAs, you must first be level 60. Then head over to Coffee at the right side quest counter, and she will have a client order for you to do called Buildup Photon Arts Permit Exam, in which you will be asked to kill bosses on the super hard difficulty. Giger Gungam is the final boss in the Daybreak Province exploration. Nept Casadora is the final boss in the Floating Facility exploration. And lastly, Train Gidron can be found in the Arcs mission Suppress Train Gidron. Then, after that's all done, as soon as the client order is handed in, your build-up PAs will be unlocked, and you will be able to place them on your weapon palette or sub-palette from their own tab. Now, you'll be starting off with a maximum of 3 stocks, and each build-up PA costs a different amount of these stocks to use. Just like compound techniques, these stocks accumulate over time as you land attacks, and can be seen filling up in real time around the perimeter of the icon. You'll also see the number of stocks you currently have at the bottom left-hand corner of the icon too. You can, however, get a few more max stocks by doing the follow-up client orders that Coffee has for you, but these extra stocks are not necessary to start using these PAs right away. Before getting into each PA individually, keep in mind that they are not influenced by any multipliers from your skill trees, and are instead mainly based off of your main attack stat. On Sword Hunter, there's Imperial Cleave, which will emit a large photonic slash from your sword. Depending on what you're fighting, to get the most out of this PA, it's suggested to not be too close to your target when using this, as some parts of it may miss, and being up in the air can help with this too. When using Launcher on Ranger, you will get access to Prominence Assail, which will first prop you up into the air and fire off a bunch of shots into a target, and then follow up with a final big AoE blast. Next, Bouncers have one for their jet boots called Tempest Raid, and when used normally, it has you execute a series of kicks that spew out lightning, in which the last hit hits twice for about 1/3 of the entire PA's damage. If you use the weapon action just before the last hit, you will instead perform a strong upwards kick that's also a gap closer. With the Knuckles on Fighter, you will have Fatal Knockout. Upon activation, there will be a short charge up, which then follows into a quick punch to the left and right, and then ends with an extremely powerful punch downwards. During the charge up, you can block enemies' attacks, and if you do, the whole animation is sped up, and its damage slightly increased. On Gunner, the twin machine guns have Calamity Bullet. During the animation, you can move around a little bit, though you will be vulnerable until the last 2 hits, which have iframes. This PA also helps build up focus very fast, and is also able to build up to a 50 chain for chain trigger if all of the hits land. For our last build-up PA, Bow Bravers will have access to Cerulean Ballista, and this can also be used in 2 different ways, both of which offer guard frames on startup and super armor until the arrow is fired. When used without any directional inputs, you will shoot a concentrated photon arrow up into the air, to then have it rain down on your target. Now, if you do use a directional input while using this PA, you will instead fire this off in a conal AoE. And that should just about do it for Buildup Photon Arts. As usual, if you have any more information about this topic, please feel free to mention it in the comments section, as it's always nice to have others out there to help fill in the gaps that I might have missed. And with that, take care.